The number one thing on a lot of producers' minds these days is the sugarcane aphid. And as a member of your sorghum checkoff board, I want you to know that we're committed to giving you as farmers the tools and information that's necessary to fight the pest. To this date, you need to know that we've committed nearly $1 million in sugarcane aphid research and education, and it's a unique situation where the research community has come together with industry all across the nation in order to give you, the sorghum producer, solutions. Now, we believe at the checkoff that you've got the information needed to control this pest. Our goal at the checkoff then is to help you by sharing this information that we have, as well as increasing the value of your crop in order to make spraying the crop more financially viable. If you haven't visited our website, please do so. There's a lot of good stuff there, a lot of new stuff there, and some of the best stuff that we have there are management videos for the sugarcane aphid for you, the grower.
And the National Sorghum Producers is also committed to this effort. We've worked diligently with numerous state departments of agriculture and the Environmental Protection Agency the past couple of years to ensure that Section 18 approvals are done so you can have multiple modes of action and options to spray. We also went to Capitol Hill this past February, and we sounded the message loud and clear that this dedicated research on the sugarcane aphid through appropriations is still needed by our industry. Despite pressures from the sugarcane aphid with 77.9 bushels per acre, our industry set a national yield record for the second year in a row. And we continue to meet growing demand, harvesting 480 million bushels with a crop estimated at $1.2 billion.
That's right, Don. Demand from our export customers has remained very strong. Last year we reached 339 million bushels of exported sorghum, with 276 million bushels going to China alone. About 80% of our exports ended up in China last year, in the last marketing year. Now, we had some new customers this last year. We had 11 international different markets come into play this past year, and demand remains strong from our export customers, as this year, in this marketing year, we've already reached 133 million bushels committed for export.
With over 60% of our crop being exported last year, trade is critical to our industry, and NSP will continue to advocate for market access for our farmers. NSP will continue to work with the administration to maintain and expand the benefits of existing or new trade dialogues, as strong trade benefits all of our nation's farmers and ranchers.
We have renewed investment in our crop from a genetic standpoint, with the Department of Energy ARPA-E program investing nearly $90 million in sorghum to be researched as a model feedstock. The Terra project goals then are to transform crop breeding and biofuel production, and researchers have chosen sorghum to utilize these new state-of-the-art technologies developed under the Terra project. These projects are going to lead to a better understanding of sorghum varieties, and in turn that'll lead to better varieties in your field.
National Sorghum Producers understands the value this investment can have for our industry. Therefore, we are committed to defending funding for ARPA-E by Congress. NSP is also working to ensure funding for a genotyping and phenotyping database is secured in order to house the amount of information created by the $90 million Department of Energy investment.
Exports are only a small part of the markets that we work in. The sorghum checkoff is consistently creating demand value in the ethanol, consumer food, and the livestock industries. More exciting, though, I think, is the additional efforts where we look to build value in untapped markets like the pet food industry and aquatic feeds. These markets sorghum can play a huge role in. I wanted to make sure to invite you all to stop by booth 115 to try sorghum recipes. That's all part of our recent consumer brand launch. We're also excited to announce today, for the first time, 2 haploid inducer lines have been discovered in sorghum by DuPont Pioneer, whom the Sorghum Checkoff entered into a partnership 3 years ago. The discovery will revolutionize how crop development and crop improvement is conducted in sorghum, and represents a great example of private industry investment coupled with producer-funded success.
Finally, as the Farm Bill process kicks off, which it did officially last week in Manhattan, Kansas, know that NSP will do its best to represent the needs of sorghum farmers across the United States. We're working to protect your interests in the various titles, and as times are tough on the farm, we will do our very best to protect the safety net with which allows you to continue to grow sorghum. I invite you to visit our booth later today and give us your input on different policy considerations.
I think Don and I want you to know that as representatives of the National Sorghum Producers Board and the Sorghum Checkoff Board, we're working on you, the sorghum growers' behalf.
These are only a few examples of the things we are working together on to help strengthen our industry and your success.